Qaeda. Your reaction to that since
yes,
you are
absolutely.
a Yemen American?
We've had this problem since 1997 in Yemen, and Al Qaeda has been growing, widely every month, every year. And the government of Yemen has been telling the U.S. government they need help and they need this and they need that. And instead of going to Yemen on September 11th, they went to Iraq and Afghanistan. Well, Bin Laden is from Yemen. His last wife is from Yemen. As a matter of fact, there's a city in Yemen called Al Qaeda. You can Google it. It's between Eb and Taz. It's Al Qaeda, and that's where his last wife is from. That city. And the Yemeni government can't do it alone. Yemen is very poor. It's in the peninsula. It means a lot for the world, for the boats to go through and the ships and oil. But look at the pirates in that region. Yemen is the key to shipments all over the world. And the U.S. government should do something in Yemen, to help the Yemen government and to help the Middle East.
I would also like to say, we don't know the veracity of the claims of this man who said there's 20 other bombers training, and we hope that they're not. And if they are, we hope that they are stopped and don't perpetrate any acts against us or any other civilians. However, I'd just like to remind you that let's say there's even a few hundred Al-Qaeda fighters throughout the world. There are 1.6 billion Muslims in the world. When you look at it in comparative terms, people who are Al-Qaeda or sympathizers are a minuscule percentage, would be less than 1% of the Muslim world. So I just want to remind you and keep that in mind, and also reiterate that the primary victims of Al-Qaeda are Muslims themselves. Who's getting killed in Pakistan and Afghanistan, in these suicide bombings in Iraq? These are other Muslims being killed by these extremists.
Dawood, you're concerned about people rushing to judgment or speaking or thinking irrationally. You condemn Al-Qaeda, but do you also feel as though you're giving credence or credibility to the group by even mentioning them and speaking about them here today?
Yeah, we've been asked that question before. In this type of situation, especially when they are reporting that they were planning attack against American citizens and against our homeland, we feel it's imperative that we denounce them. And we hope that this message that we're saying here reaches the Muslim world and reaches them, because they need to also know that the mainstream American Muslim community and America's largest Muslim advocacy organization in America condemns them and thinks that what they are committing is actually a war against the spirit of Islam itself. So we feel it's imperative that we do this.
One more question is, what have you heard from law enforcement authorities here in the Detroit area since Friday's incident? Has there been massive questioning of people within the Muslim community?
I have not heard, I haven't received one complaint or heard any calls in regards to anyone in our community being questioned about the events that took place Christmas Day. I think it's pretty evident to say that this guy was not operating or collaborating with any Muslims here in metropolitan Detroit. And as the Imam says, the Muslims in the Nigerian community have never heard of this man. In fact, they're from a totally different province of Nigeria than what this man was from. They're from a different tribe even. He's from the Hausa tribe, right? He's from the Hausa tribe, you're from the Yoruba tribe. Yeah, they're even from totally different tribes. They have different cultures, even though they're from the same country.
Can you talk about anything that the Muslim community is able to do to try and weed these terrorists out so that they don't, contribute to the problem? Obviously, a broad stroking, not that anybody should, but the situation itself.
Well, that's assuming that question assumes that there are terrorists here to weed out to begin with. There's not been one American Muslim here in Metro Detroit.
Oh, no,
I'm just saying.
Overall.
Overall in the Islamic world?
Yeah.
That's an answer. That's a question that I can't really fully answer. What we do here as American Muslims here is we do what we're supposed to do. We give sermons and we speak about the general holistic lifestyle of what Islam calls for. We encourage American Muslims to become civically engaged, and if they have any grievances with American policy, that we go about through the responsible way, which means we register the vote. We vote. We write our congressman. We protest if we have to. We protest in front of the federal building. But violence in no way, shape, or form is any legitimate option. So we tell our people that on a continuous basis. That's what we do here. As far as what goes on in Nigeria or in Togo or any other places in the Muslim world, I can't speak on that.
And it just seems like there's, I mean, like if these young people are being reached through the internet and things like that, if there's some sort of counter effort, going on, much like,
We at CAIR will be releasing or unveiling a new nationwide campaign soon within less than 2 months to address that. More information will be coming forward, but we are crafting a program specifically to deal with misinformation and the breeding of extremism over the internet. For better or for worse, the internet is basically it's like the Wild West, and it's not really regulated. Like, for example, the FCC, even here in America, doesn't regulate the internet the same way that you are, and radio and television are regulated. So anyone can basically start a website, throw up a video cam, or have some live lectures and put up some pictures and write things to start a chat room. So what we have to do is put out more correct information and encourage people to go to the websites that have the correct information, and then also to give the community websites and speakers who we feel are extremists or banned websites. So we're in the process of working on that right now.
And is it safe to assume this would be targeted to young Muslims in the U.S. or in?
It'll be accessible worldwide, and there will be resources in more than just the English language.
But primarily targeted young Muslims.
Primarily targeting younger Muslims like this young man from Nigeria that committed this act on Christmas.
You indicated you've had no contact with law enforcement since Christmas Day, indicating the suspect had no ties here. So I'm asking you to speculate. Did he just pick this flight at random, or do you think there was any significance that he picked a Detroit flight when this area has the largest Arab American population?
To be honest with you, that would be total conjecture. I don't know what was running through that man's mind. I wouldn't know if he targeted this population primarily because there's a lot of Arabs here or not. Given that he's not an Arab, I'm not even sure if that was even running through his mind or not. I don't know. But obviously, he has some sort of problems in his thinking process. I could say that beyond a shadow of a doubt.
Speaking of protesting, there's been some talk among some American Muslim groups of protesting outside the accused bomber's hearing and sort of just doing things to be very visible to say that Islam doesn't tolerate, this kind of thing. So do you guys have any plans to be involved in protest or more visible activities to demonstrate?
That protest, what I've heard from, is actually a Facebook page. It's not something that's organized by the Muslim community organizations. But whoever wants to join that Facebook protest, it's fine, but that's not, we as an organization, we're more concerned about education and outreach more so than protesting. Well, we believe that education and outreach is more effective in getting our message out than to protesting in front of a trial in which that man is not going to even see the people protesting to begin with. But whoever wants to go protest, it's fine, that's up to them, but the major Muslim organizations aren't involved in the organizing of that protest.
Same thing with the Yemeni community, we're not with the protest. I mean, let the justice system do its work, and we don't want to get in the way. And we also have to know that it's not a one-man show. There's other people in this. And we hope that the Department of Homeland Security and the FBI and the CIA bring them to justice.
What I think also would be more fruitful is that since there's so much misinformation about Muslims and Islam out in the general public, I think that our community would be more served